We're looking at temperatures still hanging out in the low 70s thanks to more cloud coverage at the beach. Packery Channel water temperature right now is about 72, so it's kind of matching the air temperature. We've seen the temperature warm up, especially inland through the Laguna Madre. It may be a few degrees cooler in the Gulf, but right now with the southeast winds, that is pushing the water out to sea a little bit. But with that being said, our tides are starting to go back up, so I'll talk about that in more detail in just a second. But something to note, the wind is going to be rather breezy today, 15 to 25 miles per hour, gusts 35 miles per hour. So if you've got plans to head to the beach, be prepared for the wind to blow around your stuff, blow around the sand. It may create some loose spots in the sand, so use caution. Our waves are also going to be high and a bit hazardous, 3 to 5 feet every 6 seconds. That means there's not a whole lot of time in between each wave to reset and recover. And in those 5-foot waves, they've got a lot of energy that can push you down farther than you think if you go out too far. So please be safe, have a buddy, and try to stay close to shore, especially on days like today. Wind is going to be, again, really gusty. So if you're headed out on the water, think 30 knots. 3 to 5 foot waves, choppy conditions, and we talked about the Packery Channel temperature. Let's talk about the tide. So high tide is going to be at 8:53 a.m. So this morning it is running a little bit higher. We're getting closer to 1.6 feet above normal, which is good. That should help get some packed sand for us to drive and park on. But low tide doesn't come up until overnight after midnight. So that's not the best forecast for spending some time on the beach. But overall, I'm not seeing coastal flooding, so that's great. 73 right now, temperatures in the 70s throughout the day, 80s this afternoon. We talked about the wind. It's going to be strong. It's around 20 miles per hour this morning and will continue to be that strong into this afternoon. Remember, our rain chances are going up. So today we've got a chance of rain, but it's going to be very isolated. That's out on this dry line. The best opportunity for rain, Interstate 35 and into Oklahoma. We are watching for some showers and storms that try to develop into Friday morning. I don't expect a whole lot of activity on Friday until we get into the evening. That depends on how far south this cold front makes it. We'll see a few storms developing to the west as well. If this develops, that's what will cause us the most problems. It'll travel along that cold front into Corpus Christi by tomorrow morning or Saturday morning. So Saturday morning's the time. Friday night, Saturday morning, we should be a little bit more weather alert. During the day on Saturday, some isolated scattered activity. Then overnight Saturday, we get a similar story to what I'm talking about. So Sunday morning and Saturday morning, use caution. Cooler weather comes in as the front finally pushes south and into the Gulf of Mexico. But these next 3 days with this front hanging out in Texas, we've got a risk of strong to severe storms. So you've got to be cautious, especially if you have plans to go to San Antonio or Houston over the next 3 days. In your 7-day forecast, yeah, the greatest risk for those strong to severe storms Saturday, Sunday, especially early, overnight and into the early morning hours. Then we do stay unsettled into early next week. John Thomas.
Thank you so